Hello, everybody. We are live, and welcome to the Wake Up Weekly TV show that guides you to be more, do more, and suck less. My name is Zane Miller, executive producer of the show, along with your host, Mr. Garrett J. White. Give a little wave and a howdy do, Garrett.
Hello, my friends. Hello, my friends.
He is the master mentor coach. Now, a quick note for all of you guys. Today's show is brought to you by the Wake Up Warrior app, the #1 access point to all things Warrior on the web. One application, 100% content, 100% of the time, including daily and weekly content of Wake Up Radio TV, MP3 Radio, the Wake Up WOD, the Daily Rant, and the Sunday Sermon. All in the palm of your hand, on demand, when you want them. So you'll never have to miss another minute of Warrior action ever again. So get the access at garrettjwhite.com. Click on the Get App button and download it today, and you will be plugged into the Warrior event. Also, check out the channel, share it, pay it forward. We're offering content. Garrett's got a lot of really good stuff today, so if you like what he says, go ahead and share it with your family and friends on the social media platforms. And let's go ahead and jump right into it. Garrett says he's got some cool stuff to talk about, so without a further ado, Garrett, let's start, man. How are you?
Okay, dude, what does further ado mean? Is this English?
You know what?
Is this not English?
Yeah.
I don't even know. Do you know?
See, I was raised by an English teacher. I feel like I should know what that means, but I just say it, so I'll have to Google it and tell you.
Hey, no ball breaking here on my side.
Right.
There's a phrase I used to use, two phrases. Here was one of them, which is looks like two monkeys screwing a football. And the other one was, damn it, White, you look like you're having a seizure on the bar. So like I didn't really know what these meant either. Further ado could just be fall. Did your side partner there tell you what further ado means?
Yeah, it's what does it mean again, Van?
It's French for like farewell.
It's French for like farewell until then.
Okay, cool. Well, we got a little French up in this show. We got a lot of French. We'll probably get some French language up in here. Kind of the pardon my French, shit, fuck, and some other stuff. Hey, on a good note, though, dude, I got a T-shirt for you. Looks just like this.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Can't wait for the T-shirt.
Yeah, we got your size coming in. It's coming to you. So by this next week's episode, you're going to have a shirt on. It'll be all official and be legit.
Excellent.
All right,
excellent.
my friends. Let's jump into content. Oh, man, just inspired by the content of what was going on last night. Playoff games, NFL. You got to love it. Love football. Uh-oh, shit, I pushed some buttons. I'm not sure what I did. Let me get rid of that. Okay. Anyways, love me some pro football. Love me some college football. Played football collegiately. Played professionally. Had a blast at the game. Have a ton of friends who play in the league. And last night watching the game, and at the end of the game, something goes down that actually inspired both topics today. It's become such a rush that more people are focused upon what happened after the game in a short 15-second to 20-second soundbite than they are actually that the Sea Chickens have gone to the Super Bowl. This is like mesmerizing me. I grew up in Washington. I was a Seahawks fan. I was like, we were diehard Seahawks fans, and here we are. We're going to the Super Bowl, and the whole thing is trumped by this one conversation. It was real. It was raw. It was relevant. It was our boy Sherman going off about how he's the best corner in the league, the best corner that's ever played, and then ran some shit up and talked shit about Crabtree. So this is, if you haven't seen that clip, just go ahead and Google Sherman interview, Seahawks interview. You'll find it up online. We'll put the link here underneath this video on the recording so that you can watch that if you'd like. If you haven't seen it, it's a short clip. It's less than like 30, 40 seconds, and I watched it like over and over and over again because I watched it live, and then I watched it over and over again in the recording, and I was laughing the whole time. And I didn't realize it was going to become such a big issue, but it really did spark two conversations. So we're going to use a Sherman kind of frame, and then we're going to talk about this in two places. First premise here is this. I'm going to have you consider that you're a big fucking liar. Yes, you watching this, recorded or live. You, my friend, are a big fucking liar. Now, here's the only reason why I can say that with no judgment whatsoever. Because if you're a big fucking liar, guess who else is a big fucking liar? Zane. Zane is a big, huge liar. I am a big, huge liar. We are all, as human beings, there's an aspect inside of us that is a liar. Now, the problem with being a liar, it comes down to a couple different things. Number one, most of us don't recognize how much we actually lie until we attempt to consciously tell the truth. Now, we watch this begin in really subtle situations. I'll give you an example. So here about, it's probably like 2 months ago. 2 months ago, 3 months ago or so, we were sitting in a grocery store, and my daughter, younger daughter, made a comment about a woman that was in line and said, "Dad, look, that lady's having a baby." And I said, "No, that lady is not having a baby." And she looked at me confused, and I said, that lady is obese. Now, the woman was standing there right in front of me, and so was the entire grocery store line sitting and watching this, and my daughter looked at me, the woman looked at me with this fuck you energy, everyone around me, my wife was like, "Oh my gosh." And what I didn't tell you is that when my daughter said this, my wife reached across and attempted to put her hand over the mouth of my younger child. And as this conversation continued in line, everybody was very awkward and very uncomfortable. I'm going to share another story that happened at a grocery store line here just last weekend with another man. Actually happened to be overweight too. So anyways, I'm not sure what the pattern is here. I'm sure there's something I got to look at there. But anyways, nonetheless, we're sitting there, we're having a conversation with this woman, and she's angry at me, and I'm not angry at her. I'm just stating facts. And see, I was faced with the reality with my child, which was this: lie to my child or allow my child to experience truth with no judgment. See, and I think one of the reasons why you and I, we don't live in truth is because we are afraid of the consequences of speaking truth because we're such judgmental bastards, because we're such big fucking liars. See, when we recognize that we're liars, that also means we judge a shit out of all this stuff and other people, a.k.a. Sherman, which we're going to talk about here in a second, and everything that went down in the Crabtree interview after the game yesterday. And we judge everyone because we are afraid by what we see in them. They are speaking truth. They are showing up vulnerable. They are showing up raw. Same thing happens when somebody gets emotional. You watch people who are very uncomfortable with the idea of emotion, and they'll get around somebody who gets emotional, and this person starts to be passionate or starts to cry or starts to share their passion, and everybody around them gets what? Uncomfortable. One of the ways that we interrupt people when they're emotional, we watched this happen at a workshop a couple of weeks ago. One of my guys was being emotional, and the other guy was next to him, and as the one guy started getting emotional, the other guy was uncomfortable with him being emotional. He began to interrupt, said, "Hey, let me tell you guys a story." And we go, "Shut the fuck up. Don't tell a story because you're interrupting the drift of his emotion, besides the fact that you're trying to tell a story because you are uncomfortable with the energy that he's throwing now. His emotionality is causing you to feel discomfort in the fact that you don't want to be emotional, so you're trying to cover it up with a story." Shish. Vice versa, I'm at the grocery store. My daughter's faced with an opportunity. Lie to her as a parent or tell the truth. Now, the reality is when you become more and more comfortable with telling the truth, your life becomes simple. There is truth and there is not truth. Now, does that truth change? Sure, because who you are as a person evolves. And all I'm speaking to here is not eternal truths. I'm not talking about lifelong eternal laws. I'm talking about truth the way that you currently see the experience. And again, last night's demonstration by Sherman, that was exactly what happened. Truth. Now, the marketplace wants to shun on him, just like my wife wanted to mute my daughter, just like the guy at the event a few weeks ago wanted to tell a big story conveniently right in the middle of the emotional experience of this other man, which was really about his discomfort. My wife's hand was about her discomfort, and everybody getting pissed off at Sherman is about their own fucking discomfort about the fact that they are big-ass pussies who don't express the full truth of who they are. All right, so what do I mean by this? Let's slow this down. So the story continues at the grocery store, right? And this woman is there, and she's not feeling very loved. And the truth is, I speak truth to myself because I want to be free. And when I figured out really quickly that the fastest path to me being a prisoner in my life is to tell lies. It's to try to keep up with the energetic experience of lying all the time. Lying to my wife, lying to my clients, lying to the marketplace. And see, my mom taught me when I was young there were two kinds of lies. There were lies we called sins of omission. These were like lies of omission. This was shit that we just didn't say. It's not that we're blatantly lying. We just don't say what's really going on. In the case of the NFL, and in the case of high-level elite sports, I'm going to tell you right now, all elite athletes talk shit. Even if the shit talking is in their own head, they pump themselves up, and particularly in NFL, in the big leagues of all sports, to get to the place you got, you had to be badass, and that requires ego. But see, we don't want to talk about ego. We want to sit and cast stones from the sideline. "Oh, Sherman! Oh, Sherman! How dare you say you're the best quarterback in the league? How dare you talk shit about Crabtree?" Of course, he didn't hear shit about what Crabtree said before the game. And he didn't decide to investigate bigger connections to this, which we're going to talk about in a second, which is what does your judgment, assessment, and interpretation of what was going on for Sherman and his comments after the game have anything to do with you? And what are you doing in your life that is exactly the same? Because you wouldn't judge that shit and call it classless if you didn't have classless behavior in your own world. Because the only people preaching classless behavior are people who don't have compassion and understand and see themselves in Sherman. Now, maybe that's because you're a big pussy and you haven't ever tried to create anything at an elite level in any area of your life. And if that's the case, well, guess what you get to do? It might be time for you to wake up. But the hardest thing about waking up, for example, and pushing to what you want, comes down to this simple idea of lying. We do it all the time. We omit the truth and we commit error by lying, deliberately deceiving, and then we deceive in another way, which is we just don't say it. It comes down to simple games in marriage. The stuff that you're not saying, the speaking to the truth of what you do want, the desires of what you do want. It's sitting in a family reunion, and everybody around you makes no more than $60,000, $70,000 a year, and you say some wild ass shit like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to create $500,000 in income this year, and the whole family looks at you and they go, that is not classy. That's classless. How dare you say $500,000 up in this family? This family, you know our standard here. We do six. And so instead of speaking your truth, what do? You contract. I have a friend of mine that is so concerned about his family knowing about his money that he literally has 3 cars. Big sports car, big SUV, lives in a big-ass house, but he has a third car. And the third car is a car he drives to his parents' house. The third car is a piece of shit. He drives a piece of shit to his friend's house or his parents' house. Why? Because when he gets there, it makes him feel comfortable around his family and his family feel comfortable around him. When they see him in money, it causes this big dysfunction. And so he's required in his family life to not be truthful. He omits the fact that he makes money. He omits the fact that he is a badass at business. He omits this in order to fit in. Now, I ain't judging him. I've done the same thing. I've done the same thing in my family. I didn't have 3 cars. But I didn't say some of the things that I was wanting. In my marriage, I wanted certain things sexually. I wanted certain things emotionally. I wanted certain things in conversation spiritually with my wife. I wanted to co-create some shit. But you know what? I was a big fucking liar. And I wouldn't speak the truth to myself or to her. The same way I wouldn't speak about my questions about God and religious patterns because my family, and even asking those questions, it was like rising up. That was like revolution. That was like Sherman saying, hey, I'm the best fucking corner. He didn't say fucking. I'm the best corner this league's ever seen. Hands down, I am the greatest cover corner of all time. And Crabtree, notice they sparked him. Crabtree, da, 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 and then he goes up. Now, how's all this shit tied together? We got kids wanting to be lied to in the grocery store by their mother, my wife. I get it. I've been embarrassed at times by my kids too, and I want to silence the things they're saying. I get it. I've watched situations again within family where we don't say what we actually want. Marriage, we don't say what we actually want. We lie, thinking that somehow in lying, it will give us what we want. So Sherman shows up and then we give him what? We give him one of these. Guys, it was a really good game. Just want to congratulate Kaepernick and 49ers for a good game, for good effort. Put in a good effort. It was a good effort. Good job. It was just great to be here on the battlefield. You know, the thing is funny. The only people who talk like this are big-ass pussies that never even played. When you play, you realize that there is a gamut of emotions that comes into your world. I posted the picture here on this video of me getting all kinds of crazy, going like this. Back when I was playing back in the day, 25 pounds heavier than I am right now. I was an angry guy. And I leveraged that rage to get to the peak of success that I got to in sports. Now, have things shifted for me at 38 from what I was at 30 or 28 or at 25 or at 22? Sure. But the one thing is common amidst all of this is that I found that truth is what sets us free. Truth in all of its forms is what gives you and I power. When we lie, when we don't tell the truth, when we either blatantly lie or we omit the desires of our experience, we omit the piece of, we say, you know what? It's okay for me to talk about my financial failure, but it's not okay for me to talk about my sexual dysfunction and the prostitutes, the drug addiction, and the masturbation issues have been going on for me. You know, that's not cool for me to talk about. I'm just going to talk about the part that I think is acceptable. I'm going to show up on a TV interview after somebody shoves a microphone in my mouth less than 90 seconds after the biggest play of my entire career at the highest level to take my team to the Super Bowl, and I'm going to wonder in that moment, oh, shit, I should probably put on a filter and be classy. I should be classy. You should just like share with everybody what they want to hear. Hi guys, all of you armchair quarterbacks, I want to tell you what a great game it was out here today. It was fantastic. And and those guys that were talking nonsense about me before the game and how they were going to knock my ass out, well, all of that's irrelevant. I just want to wish him a golly John of Willikers good game. Holy shit. And all the people out there are like, oh, what kind of example is that to your kids? Why don't you fucking spend some time with your children? You should be less concerned about your kids. It should have been a bed up watching the game anyways that sees this kind of behavior than the shit they're playing on their phones, the stuff they're getting into on Netflix, the gaming systems they're playing, the conversation they're going on, and the fact that most kids today, they're lazy as hell. They're entitled little victims. So how do we deal with, see, as human beings, if we stop lying, what we would see in the Sherman experience is something far different than what most people see. Instead of him being a whipping boy to judge, see, and this is where I'm going to shift it on a dime on you. See, Jesus, for my Christian friends, Jesus was crucified by a bunch of people who didn't understand him and used him as a whipping boy for their own shit. Think about it. Dude, come on, man. Hey, I like you, but, you know, this whole, like, son of God thing, you need to knock that off. Quit talking like that. That's not classy. That's not classy. We know who you are. You're the carpenter's son. Don't talk like that up in this place. Listen, you need to be classy. Be classy. And be classy, what really be classy means is quit being who you are and change to make me feel comfortable with the belief that somehow my life and your life is going to be different if the world would just succumb to showing up in life the way that we are so that we don't have to change. The better question you should ask yourself is, why are you suppressing the reality of your feelings and your experience? In what areas, when you want to show up like Sherman did after the interview, are you not showing up? In what areas of your life do you want to tell truth, the whole truth? Because guess what? 20, 30 minutes later, he's being interviewed on the same, different network, same game, and he's laughing and he's joking around and he's having a good time. And yeah, he's a shit talker, but you also know this kid, this guy graduated from Stanford, went back to get his master's degree from Stanford. This isn't some junkie cokehead. This guy is a fucking communicator. If you go back and watch a video, where was his eyes? On the camera. He wasn't looking all around all crazy. The man knew what he was doing, but he was sharing what? Full, unfiltered, unbridled expression of who he was, from the guy laughing on TV, from the guy that made the play, from the graduate from Stanford, to the guy who was talking shit about Crabtree, to the guy who was saying I'm the best cover guy in the league. And I'm going to tell you right now, entrepreneur, you know as well as I do that you at some point in your career on your rise to the top, you had to flip the switch and get to a place in your mind that said, you know what, I'm better. I'm better than these guys up here on that stage speaking. I'm better than these guys down the road. I'm better than my competitors. I'm better than these individuals. And in that space in the beginning, it shifted you to be in a place of power. But see, if you don't acknowledge that there's a piece of you that wants to get up there and say, I'm the best cover corner in the league, in your version, I can guarantee you right now, you're going to end up being mediocre your entire fucking life. Because why? Because you're a liar. What does lying cost you? Lying costs you power. Lying costs you energy. Lying costs you the chaos in your own mind of trying to remember what was a lie that you just told in order to cover up who you really are. And I'm going to have you consider the greatest power in my marriage, the greatest power in my life, the greatest power in my business, the greatest power in my relationship with God, the greatest power in my fitness and my physicality, the greatest power in my life came about by one reality, and that was this, that power was found through the truth. That's it. Like, the truth will set you free. This was no bullshit. This was like the real deal. The truth will set you free. Now, Sherman gave us a perfect example of what that truth could look like. A truth could look like an epic athlete who in the heat of battle got a microphone shoved in his face and he said what the media wanted to hear. but weren't prepared to hear because of all of the typical bullshit talk on sports that we're all bored of hearing. We know what really goes on. So share it with us. Let us be part of the experience. In your life, my question is, what's it costing you to be a liar? What's it costing you to suppress the full aspect of who you are in your marriage? What's the cost of suppressing your desires and the true nature of who you are, the darkness and the light, the peak of rage and the peak of absolute radical revolution, the peak of light, the peak of darkness? What is it costing in your life to continue to try to just be one face to the world? I'm going to have you consider it's costing you everything. In the Warriors Way with Wake Up TV, our whole message here as Warrior brothers around the world is one simple thing. We don't need you to be perfect. You don't need you to be perfect. What you get to be is perfectly honest. That perfect honesty comes in the words that you say. We call this be real. It comes in the way that you emotionally show up. We call get raw, which means when you are emotional, you are going to say shit and be in shit and express pieces of who you are that you might not express when you are. You might talk a little different than after coming off some big-time physical experiences. You might talk different, experience life a little different when you're broke versus when you're prosperous with your money in your bank account, when your businesses are banging. You are going to experience the gamut of life, and you and me, brother, we were called to experience the gamut of life because this is the only way in which you and I can have choice. So what's the choice? I'm going to have you consider the choice is this: tell the truth or lie. Tell the truth or lie. That's it. In every moment of every day, your access point to power comes down to this little simple deal. Tell the truth or tell a lie. And I love what Sherman had to say about this on his tweet last night. It was awesome. Here's what I loved it. 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 I'm going to come over to my Facebook page and pull it up because a couple of my buddies posted up on here. I thought it was classic in what he said here. Hold on, I'm going to pull it up. I'm going to pull it up maybe. Maybe I'm going to pull it up maybe. God. Computer's like running slow because we got Google.
Hey Garrett, while you're finding that, I just wanted to make a quick message to all of those who are watching and who are watching during the replay. I want to encourage you guys to subscribe to the Daily Rant email update. Every single day, Garrett gets ideas flowing through his head and in his heart, and for over a year now, he's been sharing them on his blog and Facebook in a format that he likes to call the Daily Rant. So you guys need to sign up for that, get more information, and learn more about his rants. They're raw, they're real, they're relevant, and they are results driven. There's a point, there's a method to Garrett's madness on this, not just a rant, just a rant. It's actually going to help you. So for email access to the Daily Rant, go over to GarrettJWhite.com and opt in today. So Garrett, you said you had some comments that you wanted to point out. Have you found those?
Yeah, dude, I found it. He tweeted last night like 9 o'clock after the game. He said, a lion doesn't concern himself with the opinions of the sheep. And it was just because, like, as I sat and I looked at what had gone down, me and my friends, all my friends who played sports at elite levels, at any level, I post a little picture up here as a screenshot for this, so you can see me back in my wild days playing ball too. And I can tell you right now that you have an appreciation for elite individuals who accept and claim the brilliance of everything of who they are. Notice Sherman and other individuals, they continue to play at this elite level. They're not professing, nor am I telling you that you've got to be perfect at everything. You know, at a certain level, you've got to believe in yourself in order to produce results in more than anyone else believes in you. This requires you to say things, do things, believe things about you that encompass all of who you are. You will never be elite in your life, in business, in marriage, in fitness, in any aspect, until you come to recognize one simple truth, and that is the power itself inside of you is liberated by telling the truth. And that by telling the truth, you give yourself permission to be all of you. Stanford graduate, back in his senior year for his master's degree, elite level, top cover corner in the league, going to the Super Bowl, funny, laughing, comical guy, at the same time shit-talking, high-level, badass athlete across the board. And what do I really know about Sherman? I don't. I sound like I hang out with him. But I can tell you right now that the judgment inside you and I about any human being never is about the person that we're judging. There was a reason. There was a reason the commandment was very simple. The commandment was this: judge not, for you shall be judged by the merit with which you judge. What does this mean? Every opinion, every concept, every judgment we make about the marketplace, particularly people who are living being all of who they are. Trust me, there's a ton of people talk shit about me. But you know what? When you climb up the mountain, you can't hear them because all their shit talking's way down at the bottom of the mountain where shit hangs out. You're like, cool. Hope you guys are having fun down there in the manure. Hope you're having fun down here in the mockery. And guess what? As you rise to the top in your life, people are going to run their mouths. And being all of you comes down to the truth of accepting that you are this entire gamut of experience. That you're not what the marketplace wants you to be. That you are who you are, and that being who you are is enough. And that the gateway that we admire most, and the thing that pisses everybody off about Sherman is simply saying, fuck off, I am who I am. I don't need to impress you. I'm not here to appease the sheep. I'm a lion, and that's how I roll. That's how I roar. That is who I am. Too many people around the world talking to me about how they want to have it all, yet the one thing they can't even be is fully themselves. They hide in their marriage. They hide in their family. They hide in their neighborhoods. They hide in their churches. They hide in their families. They hide in their business. They hide from their clients. They're one guy over here and one guy over here instead of what? Instead of being you. Instead of being you. You know, I find it comical. You know, a comment just came in on the Sherman post that I put up earlier, and a woman just said, total turn off. Total turn off. This guy's a total turn off. He's a turn off. People say it about me out too. Oh, such a turn off. This guy's such a turn off. You know the thing is, really, you realize that in order to turn anything or anybody on, you got to be able to turn other people off. One of the fastest paths to the graveyard of mediocrity is for you to attempt to please everybody. Is to attempt to please everybody. My point is not about Sherman as an athlete. Sherman is in so much it was an example for you and I about what it might look like to be all of who we are. One of the most inspirational individuals in my life 4 years ago came out and declared she was gay. And I remember watching her and her girlfriend as they showed up in public and were scrutinized in a heavily populated Christian area. Scrutinized and judged and torn to pieces. And I asked her, I said, you know, what is it that inspired you to live so open about this, because you take so much heat? And she said, I could not stand any longer living in my lies. There's a lot of people that judge the shit out of me because I support who she is, and I support the choice that men and women have to be who they want to be at all times. Who am I to tell you how to live? Who am I to tell you where to go? What I'm saying is that regardless of where you are, if you want power, you're going to access it through truth. You want possibility, you're going to access it through truth. And in order to do this and to be fully holy you got to understand you are going to piss off 90% of the people. They are not going to like you. They're not going to resonate with you. They are going to disappear, and half of those individuals will persecute the shit out of you. Any president's been elected, any musician, any actor, any author, any person who has ever taken a stand to live fully their truth has been persecuted, just like my friend and her girlfriend. And yet when I watch them walk in complete connection to who they are, with the judgment and the persecution and the name calling and all of it that comes with them, just like I'm watching happen with Sherman, just like I watch happen with my stuff every single day, just like I watch happen with every epic leader that's ever walked the planet, there is always going to be a polarization. And for fear of the opinion of that 90%, for fear of the opinion of those who would never invest time in you, never invest money in you, never invest energy in you, for the fear of the opinions of literally the sheep. you would shrink down as a lion and choose to go lie down with the sheep. This is why I do what I do. This is why I'm extreme as fuck with what I do. I don't make apologies for it. I don't ask you to like it. If you don't like it, I encourage you to block me on Facebook, block me on the internet, to disconnect yourself from anything I'm up to. For crying out loud, life is too short for you to be constantly sitting around distracted by focusing on your own life by spending time talking shit about mine. Because every single second you worried about somebody else's life, you're not worried about whose? Yours. And I can tell you at the end of the day, every armchair quarterback in the world, overweight, beer-drinking idiot who's talking shit about Sherman, each one of these individuals, if they were honest inside who they are, honest with where they are at, every piece of persecution has nothing to do with him or football. It has to do with the inadequacy that they feel inside themselves. The same inadequacy that so many Christian friends of mine judge the shit out of my friends that are gay and lesbian. Same thing I watch broke people judging the shit out of rich people judging the shit out of poor people, fat people judging skinny people judging fat people. It's like over and over again, we just are not getting it as a society, which step one is stop fucking lying. Look yourself in the mirror and tell the truth, at least to who? To you. Second, once you're able to tell the truth, you can be all of you. Because for every single person on the planet that is being all of them, for every persecutor that's out there, there's a series of loyal fans. What am I? I'm a Sherman loyal fan. And I can promise you, guys like me who have a voice, we are far more powerful in our capacity to spread a message of an athlete than any of the little mockery on the side, wasted time individuals who spend so much time focused on Facebook on everybody else instead of on themselves. So I'm thankful today to God for Sherman, what he said, because the man stirred up a fucking shitstorm. How do you know wasn't inspired? How do you know wasn't commanded by God? How do you know the universe didn't speak this through him? Simply to wake up individuals like you and I. To give us an opportunity to have a conversation about being honest. To wake us up to the opportunity of having a conversation about being all of you. Sherman's being all of him. I'm committed to being all of me. I didn't say I was going to be perfect. I said I would be fucking perfectly honest. That is my goal. The game of perfection is a lie. The game of being perfectly honest is possible in this life. And the longer you continue to crucify yourself and those around you into a game and a box called perfection, is the longer you will continue to suffer and no longer experience the results that you're wanting until you become exactly what Henry David Thoreau called it. Most men live lives of quiet desperation and go to the grave with their song still in them. Why? Most men shrink from the witness of God inside of them for the fear and the precepts and opinions of men. They will not open their mouths to speak the truth of who they are, the truth that is pouring through them. And you and I can never know the truth that's being called for to awaken individuals around us, except the one thing we can know is this: are you willing to tell the truth and open your mouth and be vulnerable about the expression of your humanity and your divinity? We are leaving the day and age in which a man believes and a woman believes that perfection itself is a standard. We don't believe the Photoshop bullshit online. We want to see all of you, but if you are unwilling to be all of you, to show all of you, to express all of you, how do you experience anything else in your life than one big fucking line of judgment, self-crucifixion projected onto the world, telling everybody else how they should live while you ignore the shit in your own life? So what do you
Dude,
choose?
nice, right?
What do you choose? Hold up, bro. What do you choose? Sit here with me now as you're watching this. You can hate me all day long. I don't give a shit what you think about me. Because I don't stand up and do what I do because I need your praise or your persecution. Because a voice that comes through me that calls me, beckons me, commands me to do what I do in the form that I do it and the way that I do it was never brought about to please everyone. I've been called to you, brother. You know who you are. And if it's time for you to level up and get honest, if it's time for you to join a brotherhood of power in a way that you have never experienced before, if it's time for you to experience the full power of who you truly are, I'd invite you to do two things. Number one, go to wakeupwarrior.com. Consume a video series that I created and built. We have almost 1 million men who have gone through that video series, seeing and experiencing the process of getting honest and being all of you. Second is to download the Wake Up Warrior app. And to get access to it in the iTunes Store and the Google Play Store so that you can get access to this kind of content every single week directly from your cell phone. Third thing I'd invite you to do is share this. If this message resonated with you, scared the shit out of you, did whatever it did, and you know someone needs this in your life, you know there is a man, maybe even a warrior woman who needs to hear this message, I would encourage you to not be selfish. But out of your own self-interest, share this show. Share this movement. And as I wrap up and I hand over to Zane to give us any little final details, I want you just to understand I am thankful and grateful and honored to put my face next to a man named Sherman, who represented an opportunity for a conversation for a nation of football fans to look at life from a different angle and a different perspective than they have before. Without him, millions of conversations like this are not happening. Maybe he was just a little more inspired and just happened to be a graduate in communication than most people would give him credit for. All right, Zane, back to you, brother, and then let's wrap this show up.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to find where a good place to come in and say, man, you were absolutely right. You hit on some extremely important points here. I just want to, as the final heads up, guys, jump in because Garrett's going to be talking more about this stuff on his app and in his emails, and I will be bringing together more video stuff of Garrett's to the YouTube channel. So again, download the app, get a part of the email list, and join us in the Warrior movement. So. That was pretty much it. Awesome episode, by the way, Garrett. It was extremely passionate. You actually have more comments on this particular show than some of your other shows. Like you really resonated with your audience. Well done. Let me give you. There we go. Round of applause. Well done, Garrett, because you carried that thing like a champ. Right.
Hey, dude, I wanna tell you, thank you, man. You come in here. For those who don't know, Zane comes in and does a ton of legwork to make this thing possible, and we continue to take it to a whole nother level. If you're not friends with Zane on Facebook, you need to hit him up, Zane Miller on Facebook. Put that link here underneath this video. You need to be friends with him. The man is badass at what he does. He's jumped in here to help me support getting this TV show off the ground. I've been talking about doing this shit for like a year. I started for like 3 weeks and then quit. And you and I, here we are, episode 3. With a commitment to bang this out and launch Big Money TV as a network and a platform here in 2014, supporting crazy lunatic warriors like me getting their message out to the marketplace. But thanks, brother, for being here. I'm excited to get you the Warrior shirt. Are you excited for the Warrior shirt?
Dude, I'm way excited. I want that. I want that big old Warrior shirt right across my chest.
It's right. You see that box right there?
It's waiting for me. I can see it. It's
right there.
There.
There's like 5 of them right there for you, buddy. And here's the thing: you can't buy this shirt. That means you have to be part of my direct team or one of my warrior men in our program. So, this is you can't buy this shirt. All right, bro. Okay, we're wrapping up, fellas. Ladies, gentlemen, haters, and players, anybody who watched this, thank you for being here. And if I pissed you off and you never want to watch anything I ever do again, congratulations, because you just got the next step to moving forward to finding the voice that will actually resonate and connect with you. And you're welcome for pissing you off because it's going to help you consider things in your life maybe you haven't considered before. For everybody else that did get joy from this, thank you so much for being here. We'll be back next week for Wake Up TV for our live episodes every single Monday at 12 noon Pacific. Again, jump up and pick up the app at Wake Up Warrior in the iTunes Store and or in Google Play. So you get access to all the episodes as well as radio show, TV shows, Sunday sermon, and everything else we got running down. I'm signing off, reminding you today, as a modern-day warrior, the power in today's marketplace comes down to the simple formula of authenticity. Be real, get raw, stay relevant with a ruthless commitment to creating big-ass results today.